I'm going to do the Kahlenberg hike, which is this green loop that you see. Down the lower right hand corner where it says start is the end of the tram at Neusdorf, and that's D tram. Now I want to illustrate how much misdirection you can get from locals, as well as good direction. I stopped in at a pastry shop, bought a pastry, asked the man who ran the pastry shop to help me find out where we were. I specifically wanted to know what the street was down here, Wildgrub. He ended up telling me, no, we're here. This is where you are, up here. And I'm thinking, that's almost impossible. Anyway, I walked out of the cafe bewildered, to say the least. A young woman who had been in there, I asked if she spoke English. She said yes. I asked her where we were, how to get to blah, blah, blah. She ended up saying, you're exactly where you thought you were supposed to be, right here. She says, just walk up the street right alongside the cafe, and you'll come to it. You can't miss it. And here we are, Stadwender 1. And notice it says Kahlenberg, hour and a half. So we'll go an hour and a half up to Kahlenberg, and then probably another hour and a half. So it'll take us an hour and a half to get up here, and then another hour and a half to get from here back down, I guess, or something like that. The woman said you can't miss it. We're going right up to the mountain, which means the hillside. Another good sign at this intersection. I'm gaining my confidence back. Neighborhood. If you have to live someplace near Vienna, better live out in a place like this. After walking past, I think, the cemetery and Beethoven Park, which may be one and the same, we get to the street I was asking that man about. He didn't have a clue. And then here's a reassuring sign for the trail itself. Stadwanderweg. This is perhaps the cemetery that the young woman spoke about. This is our first breakout of the main residential area into the hillsides. Lovely vineyard countryside. It almost reminds me of hiking the Camino. The first part that goes through the vineyards, although those were vast rolling fields and hills of vineyards. What greater endorsement can you get for your wines? Along this part of the path, these vineyards, or at least some of the vine posts, are named Vladimir Putin, Billy Clinton, Prince Charles, and just wonder if that's some kind of proof that those people have consumed their wines. Christ. See, what it really means is this vineyard sent each of them a case of wine and gotten a complimentary note back from one of their many underling assistants. Alongside this road trail is a novelty. Whether it's a person's abode or not, I don't know, or just where they kind of hang out, but it looks like a little house. And there, tributes to Shiva, it looks like. And perhaps something up there in white doing the same thing. And here another curiosity, and that is this multi-level structure built inside that tree. Notice it starts very small, and the largest one is at the top, stupa. And he apparently generates some kind of water power, whether it's just to spin that wheel, I don't know, but that might be like a Buddhist prayer wheel. The path takes us off the road and onto what is called a Forststrasse, or forest road. Coming up the trail, you come to an intersection just before that tunnel that branches to the right, inside the curve of the road. There's no sign that tells you to turn right there, so I didn't. There are a couple more yellow-white icons that seem to suggest you go through the tunnel. So having gone through the tunnel, I'm at this intersection. Now notice there's an arrow with the white and yellow. It's the first time I've seen that, but it's obvious what it means. But here white, yellow, white continues on, but our sign tells us to turn right. Come up that trail. I notice there's a bus stop here, so for those that figure out the bus schedule from down in Hoosdorf, you could take a bus up here and then have a downhill jaunt. Trail on the map shows itself inside the circle of this road. Here the sign indicates we continue on the left or outside of that curve. Signage is clear enough. And Stephanie Hort, hope that's not what it looks like in English. Don't know what the Zoom trail is. It doesn't look like it. But notice there's also bike trails. One bus that comes up here that just went by going that direction is 38A. But from where it comes, I don't know. This is that Stephanie Wart. Sure it's not pronounced that way. I think it's probably an observation tower next to this microwave tower. Don't think there's any access to it. Looks like 1887 to be the access. Can't go in there anymore, I guess. This came from walking down the hill. And that's where you want to go back to Nussberg. And that should be a little bit more than 20 minutes, and Kahlenberg should be right here. I'm afraid is that this trail is taking us back the way we came up to Grinzing, where the wine and the famous people were. A tribute to Jan Sobieski. But Kahlenberg should be off to our left about 30 minutes. Very simple. I'm guessing the first part of our walk went up through that valley ahead of us. We may have seen part of these vineyards from the bottom. In the distance, of course, Vienna. Don't exactly know and can't see clearly enough to know where the core of the old part of Vienna is that I've been walking about. But a lovely place this is to live. It's pretty vineyard fields and a multitude of trails. And of course, within a tram or bus ride or U-Bahn ride into Vienna and elsewhere. Sign down there for one. Looking back, river may be the Danube. I'm not sure what the name of that river is. It's split with that big island in that area, but deeper into Vienna it's not split that way. And then looking at the opposite side of the road gives you a little hint of this beautiful area. Notice this wall is composed of several different brick sections. Some of the bricks are what we consider normal, but most in the lower part are large. This section has these large bricks that have this nomenclature on them, and for some reason they even put them in upside down. Next section we have these bricks. Of course, they indicate what brick house made them. What's interesting to wonder is, were they bricks directly from the brick house to this wall? Or are these the bricks from some other earlier use? On the way down, almost at the bottom, we encounter these walled structures. Whether these were built up just to do what they're doing now, and that is protect an intersection that was important, I don't know. Those stairs are literally sliding down the hill. Two arches are new. It's evidence of brickwork, stone wall, and a mixture of. Here's an old stairway that used to be quite lovely. Now pretty much abandoned. Something comes down it occasionally, I suspect.